so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful now. You know, for some odd reason, the tech gods didn't want me to come and see you and see Catherine.
And you know, that's our favorite saying. We love technology when it works, and we love technology when it doesn't.
For some odd reason, StreamYard was like, I don't know Barbara J. Beckley. And I was like, yes, you do. Because this is my account.
Well, for me, you know, one of the new things that StreamYard is allowing us is to stream to another audience. Well, so it says on mine that stream this to your audience. So I clicked on it and streamed to my audience. Well, it's not connected to my Facebook page, and I'm like, but it is, you know. And then of course it wouldn't give me my it wouldn't. It said, oh, that's not the right password. I said I haven't changed my password. So yeah, one of those days.
I love it. But you know, I love it because we both was like dealing with it. So I felt like we were in the same boat. It felt really comfortable like that.
Exactly. You can feel my vibe.
Yes. I'm feeling the love too, because we're all together.
That we're all together. So I'm going to share with you my funny story of the morning.
Okay. You always have a good one.
Well, you know, but you know me. I want to be authentic, and you know, life happens.
Yes.
And so when something that happens in my life makes me laugh, I'll share it. You know, it's like a share. Okay. So this morning, I'm 73 years old. My mother has been gone for 13 years, and I had a fight with her this morning.
Uh-oh.
Last week, I was brought up that, okay, we're let's talk laundry. So last week I had the house to myself, so I'm going to do laundry. So I got my laundry done. Well, I was brought up that you fold as you bring warm clothes out of the dryer, because then they stay nicer, like sheets, towels, the whole 9 yards. Because you bring things warm out of the dryer. Well, last week I got all my personal stuff done, folded, put away, had a load of sheets. I have 3 sets of sheets because I'm organized, of course. So when I put on the last set of sheets, I wash the other 2. So I had my little pile of 2 sets of sheets. Took them downstairs. Well, in the meantime, one of my grandkids had come home and put in a load of laundry. So I went, oh, okay, fine. Well, I'll just wait, and so I threw them beside in our laundry area, and I'll come back and do them later. Well, of course, promptly forgot. Well, one of our things is that we have a table outside of our laundry area that just when laundry comes out of the dryer, it gets put on the table, and you come and claim your pile. Well, so this morning when I went, oh, brother Barbara, you never went down and washed your sheets. So down I went, and there's me with all the, and I'm like, okay, where are my sheets? Well, guess what? They were in a pile. Somebody had washed them, but they were in a pile. Well, so I said, well, okay, I'm just going to pick these up and brought them upstairs. And as I went to start to fold them, I was like, I heard my mother's voice in my head going, what do you mean you're not going to go put them back in the dryer and refluff them so that they're not crooked, they're not wrinkled? And it was like her voice in my head.
And that audio voice speaking in your head.
That audio voice in my head. And I'm thinking, I'm 73 years old. I'm arguing with my mother who has been gone for 15 years. But you know what? It was how times have changed. So I sat there. I literally, as I was, because I looked at them and went, I'll live with wrinkles. So there was me holding up my totally wrinkled sheets going, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, Mom. And I was standing here just laughing so hard. I said, well, okay, I've got to share this. So I was sharing I shared it with Carol because we were talking before this. And she was rolling. She said, oh, Barb, I can see that. Here we are rebelling against our mothers. How old are we? We're still rebelling against our mothers. And it was just the funniest thing. I said, well, I guess I'll have to share it with Barb too on the show.
I love it. Well, you know what? I have to give you so much just kudos for that because I argue with my mother all the time. It's been 12 years for me.
Yeah.
And, her audio voice is, and it's real loud sometimes, and real like yelly and like screamy because that's how she was in Sergeant Beckley. So I had to give you credit because you were like, okay, Ma, I'm going to deal with the crinkles, right? But my mother, it would be the opposite. She's like, Barbie, what are you doing? And I'd be like, okay. So I would be like, I couldn't even sit there and say, okay, Ma, you know what? I'm going to deal with this. I would basically be pushing myself because I feel her like saying no.
And my mom, and she was brought up that you ironed your sheets. You ironed underwear.
Yeah.
I don't buy anything that's not permanent press. David had one shirt that I had to iron. And it was like, David, if you want that shirt, then you're going to have to tell me days ahead of time because I'm going to have to haul out the iron. He very seldom wore it because it was one of those that I had to wash. You had to hand wash it. It was just one of those very expensive shirts. So I would have to hand wash it and then put light starch on it and then iron it and press it. Mm-hmm. And it was like, yeah. So if you're going somewhere special, if you have a special meeting like an impress the boss kind of event, then yes, I will do it. But for every day, no, you're not wearing that shirt. You're just not wearing that shirt. There was like, and I have to admit, it really did look really nice on him, but it was like, no. So there was me just laughing, standing in my room, laughing at me because I was rebelling against my mother. I'm 73 and still rebelling against my mother.
Well, see, like I said, you're good because I know even if she's not here, if I start to rebel, I'm scared that there's going to be like a thunderbolt
But
that's going to come down and
yeah,
be like, "Don't, what are you
don't do it.
doing? Mama said this." I'm like,
And yet, how many others, especially women, how many others of us, like I can remember saying to my mom, I'm not going to treat my children the way you treat me. Yeah, right. You're not. And I can remember her saying that. Yeah, okay, you just wait. And I think one day I think I've told you this, but one day I called her up and I said, Mom, I have to apologize to you. And she said, what for? I said, for anything I've ever said in my entire life about you calling me by the wrong name. She said, you're doing it. And she was so polite. She said, you're doing it, aren't you? And I went, oh, yeah. And then, of course, we laughed about it because then we were two women who were faced with the same thing. And she knew that I knew it. I knew that she knew what it was. And then it would just became such a funny thing. And yet up until that moment, it was like, Mom, what do you mean? What I could literally not understand why she could be like, maybe have me by the scruff of the neck and call me Elizabeth. Mom. She said, well, you know, I'm talking to you. And I can remember doing that to my kids. One day I had Andrew by the scruff of the neck. You may be bigger than me, but I'm still your mother. And you are Andrew, Malcolm, you are, and he would look, and he looked straight at me. He said, Mom, my name is Andrew. And that's when I had to call my mom. And it was like, but in that moment, we were two women dealing with children.
yes, and more than one or two.
And more than one or two. And it was, I was
let me ask you this question, bro. Okay, so now you're talking about your children when you're growing up. Now you have your adult children with grandchildren.
With grandchildren.
I mean, that's like a whole.
I literally have to bite my tongue. I mean, sometimes it's like, walk away. I have to walk away because it's so different. It is so different now of like just the things that I just like doing laundry.
Just simple stuff, yeah.
That it was just simple stuff. Some of the clothes choices are yeah.
I know.
And I just have to walk away. I have to walk away and just like, okay, yeah, they're my grandchildren. And yes, and if I am babysitting them, then okay, fine. If when they were younger, there's like, if I was babysitting, but they knew there were Grammy rules and there were mom rules and things that Grammy let them do, mom didn't, and the opposite and the other way around too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but now they're teenagers. The youngest is 12. And
another lane.
they're in their own lane. They're doing their own thing, and the rest of them they have their own. They have licenses, they have jobs, and they're doing their own thing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, like even just job ethic is different.
Yeah,
job ethic is different. So yeah, but this morning it was just a fun memory of hearing my mother's voice.
Yeah, it's like you said, the funny part. I like how you brought that. I'm glad you brought that out because people that their parents that passed away. Yeah, I always tell people they're never gone.
They're never gone.
You're always going to have that voice.
Yeah,
your voice, be it good or them yelling at you or them just saying it's going to be okay or whatever at that point in time in your life.
Right.
It's still going to be there. There's a presence there in your spirit. I always tell people. So, that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, even though they're sitting there still nagging you in your head.
Right. Right. And that's exactly true because sometimes it can be such a warm and fuzzy. This was a warm and fuzzy, but on the opposite side of that is like, one of the things that I teach is the law of polarity. Mm-hmm. There's two sides of every situation. There can be the other side of it where that voice in your head is so negative and hurtful and and not over simple stuff like laundry. I'm talking about major life issues that this voice is still in your head. And that can be so hard to, like, for me this morning, it was like, okay, it was a fun rebellion. But for other people, it's a major trauma to still have that voice in their head.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to forgive. They have to forgive, because at the time, like, my mom could only raise me the way she was raised. She did the best she could with how she was raised and with how she lived her life. We are the same way. Well, our parents, they could only do what they knew. And sometimes if that was a negative, they did that because they were brought up that way. They didn't know any different. They didn't know how to do anything differently.
Yeah.
And that's a tough situation too. So I was just so grateful that this morning it was a fun memory, and yet I felt so rebellious. And it was a funny memory. So try. So that's one of the things that I try to work with my clients, is that bring back that, if you do have a negative, because every negative, you need 3 positives to offset it.
Yes, definitely.
So if a negative memory does come into your being, then immediately say, okay, yeah, that was a horrific. I need to think something positive now. And right at that moment, it's a choice. And as hard as that is, and it's easy for me to say it, the words, but it's really hard to make the choice.
And see, you said the main thing that I always say, we always talk about this, Barbara, is the choice you make in anything. You have to, either you're going to go, in fact, you're going to react or respond to it.
Right.
And how are you going to do that? So I always say that choice for all of us is going to make a big deal of what's going to happen after that.
Right. Because we can't stop the memory. The memories are there.
They're going to be there. Yeah.
Those memories are there. They are a part of our being. Because your subconscious never forgets. It just buries. And that's one of the things that I share too, is that, what? It's like the image that I use is the iceberg, where you see the little bit of the iceberg above the water. That's your conscious brain, the stuff that you think with, you make decisions with. Everything else that's under the water is your subconscious, where absolutely everything that you have ever seen, heard, or done is stored.
Yes.
Doesn't matter from when you were a baby. It is all stored there. And every once in a while, your reptilian brain will bring something up, and it'll be like, where did that come from? And you never know sometimes what triggers it.
Oh, yeah. It could be yourself triggered, or another person that said something can trigger it. I mean, or even a place or a song.
It could be a word.
It could be anything that could be triggered. Like, where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And in that second, we have the choice. Oh, I wonder. Okay, yeah, no, but gee, is that still triggering me? How do I feel about that memory? Ooh. And there have been times over the last months or so, every once in a while, a memory will come up, and it'll be like, ooh, Barb, that wasn't really a pleasant memory. I wonder why it's coming up now. So let's get curious. Get curious about why it's coming up now. What's going on around me? What was going, like the last one that had happened, what was going around me?
Yeah.
That brought up this memory. I think I was a teenager. And it was like, oh, that's how I'm feeling now, was when I felt then. So let's deal with this now. And then it's like, okay, now you can okay, Barbara, yeah, you're going to let this go.
Yeah, because you don't want the power over you.
I don't want it.
And really, making a strong presence, then you really have to say to yourself, okay, I have to do something, because now it's taking over, and it's like, yeah.
And right in that moment, that's your choice. Because if you feel if you hear the memory, like it's in the memory comes up. If you dwell on it, if you take the next step, oh, okay, to just be curious, then, oh, okay, fine. Then you can let it go. But if you take the next step and go, oh, I remember feeling that way. I hated it. That wasn't good. And then you go into then you go down the spiral of down back to where you were back as a teenager. You have now given that one little small memory dominion over you again.
That's why it says you don't need to power over you. And then now you're taking either not just hours, but sometimes days and weeks to try to let go of that, because now it's just so, back in your mind, like,
It's like Charlie Brown. No, isn't it Linus that had the black cloud over him?
Oh,
dust. The black cloud was always he had the black cloud. And that's what happens to people. That's
it's funny you said that, because one day, I don't know, for some reason, like you said, some things just come in your mind. And one day I felt it just came, and I felt this like I was upset. I was upset. I was really upset. And then I started looking like, okay, what is over me? Because why am I so pissed off right now?
Exactly.
And I really looked up like, what is going on? Yeah. And eventually when I really talked, really, like you said, Barbara,
get curious.
Got it out, curious about it, it slowly went away.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, let me get a hold of this, because this is going to mess up my whole day. This is going to mess up my whole day. So.
And most of the time, it happens in the morning.
Yeah.
And so you've lost, you can't find your keys, or in my case, it's like, what did I do with my glasses? That kind of stuff. Those little things. So now you're running late. Like back in the day, it was like, oh, you would find a run in your nylon. You've got to go change your nylon. So those little things, they are still their memory. Their memory, they're in your subconscious. They're a memory. So of running late, and then so that escalates into the next thing, and then you get caught in traffic, and that late, and then on and on and on. So now it's the afternoon, and you are so stressed to the max that you don't know what to do with yourself.
I know. It's like that snowball effect, and
it's the snowball effect. So when you have this, that's one of the things that I really work with people. When you feel that, as hard as it is, and I totally understand it, that's where you have to get curious. Where did this come from? Yeah. And that's one of the tools that you can use.
Yeah.
Good morning, Patsy. How are you doing? It is so good to see you this morning.
Thank you. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much, Barbara, I love coming here because it makes me happy. In your happiness show.
I think that's what we originally started as the Happiness Show 101. And then it was like, well, we need to have something that combines the two things of Barb and I. And that came from one of our guests.
Fun.
About branding and all that kind of stuff. And so Barb and I, we were talking one day, and I said, well, my company is Trends in Marketing, and it's your time to do this, to do whatever it is that you want to do. And her thing is that she wants people to shine, and diamonds do that. And the diamond, because this is the diamond factory. And so that's where we came. It was like, well, why don't we just combine them? And so it's time to shine. Because it's your time.
It's so fun. And you're both such adorable. And what I really appreciate appreciate most about both of you women is you're so committed to bring joy and happiness to the world. You bring people on, you help them shine the gifts they have in the world that they're supposed to be giving out and making a difference in the world. And you let us come and share what's on our hearts and what we're committed to. And I just appreciate that about your guys' commitment to do that. And you are authentic. Both of you girls are so adorable. You get to be yourself. Right. And
exactly. This like with me, with my mom. That
yes,
day, I mean,
I thought that was hysterical.
Hysterical.
Like, yeah, and I can hear that. It wasn't so much like that. It was more my grandmother that kind of mentored me growing up.
Yeah.
You know, when I worked for her in a restaurant, you said you save a little, you spend a little, you know, like kind of a thing. And so, yeah, I think it's really interesting the women we have that influence our life.
And you hear their voice. Really, you hear their voice. Absolutely. So tell us about you, Patsy. I mean, we have known each other for a while. I love talking to you.
Yes.
So tell us about you and just what you do, how you came to be doing it. You know, like as Barb says, we always like to have the backstory.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing hair forever. My dream was to be a hairstylist when I was in high school. Forever and ever. I was a little girl. I played with the dolls. I did my mom's and the neighbor's hair. Like I always want to do that. So I won a scholarship to go to beauty college. Wow. And my husband and I got married right before I went to beauty college. And we've been married for almost 54 and a half years.
Wow.
But he supported me to do that. And I had a job before I even got out. So my whole life has been about making women especially, and you know, I do some men, to look and beautiful. Like when your hair looks good, you can go anywhere and do anything. If it doesn't look so good and people drive by, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's been my thing. And then about, I guess about, I don't know, 17 or 18 years ago, we moved to a new area. And I weighed 250 pounds. I battled with weight my whole life, but I was pretty miserable. And I'm thinking, wow, I love God, and yet I can't master this. Like, I had no idea what to do. So somebody introduced me to a 12-step program. So I went from a size 2022 to a like 8'10", and I've been that way for like 14 and a half. Yeah. So for me, that had my own transformation. So starting over when we moved to this new place was so hard because I didn't know anybody, starting a business over, you know what it's like. And so I met this woman, and a lot of these women in the program became my clients. So I got to do that. So this one gal, Susan, and her husband came, and I did their hair, and she's a speaking coach. So she asked me to come to an event they were putting on. And she had her stylist come in, that did the element color typing, and asked if I'd come do hair. So I did. And, you know, I was typed as a winter in the early 80s, like, you know, black and jewel tones. So I had purple highlights on my hair. My hair was really dark brown, and I mostly wore black. And so Barbara said, well, every element, air, fire, water, and earth, has a shape. It goes with the hairstyle. It's the jewelry. It's everything about who you are. Each shape resonates with each one of those elements. So she would tell me to cut their hair in this shape, give them a bang, cut them an angle, like whatever they needed. So I did that day. And she said, my friend said, hey, Patsy, Barb, love what you did. This is so perfect. She said, she'll color type you in the elements if you'd like. I said, oh, no, I look good. I know how to dress nice. She
well,
said,
isn't that the truth? So often we say, well, we know we know how we look, we know, and then all of a sudden it comes to us that, ooh, yeah, maybe not quite so much.
Well, and this is what was interesting. She said to me, she said, Patsy, you've been complaining to me lately that things aren't going so well in your business. Wonder if what you're wearing is keeping people from working with you. Well, I knew I could be open to possibilities, or I could keep struggling. I said, fine, I'll do it. I just don't want to be a fire. Well, of course, I ended up being a fire, which is, well, I'll show you the colors, which were all these colors, right?
Yeah.
But I used to wear all of these colors. Like, I'm thinking, crap. And so she said, okay, let me explain what's different about this. She said, when we did the seasonal color typing where they match your hair, skin, and eye colors, they put you in a season, and you knew that was the time of year you bought your clothes, and you always dress nice, right? Look nice. Today, people want to be authentic. They want to be more of themselves.
Right.
And the essence, you know, element revealed color typing system helps you align from a soul level with your natural gifts, your natural character traits, your natural features. And then when we color drape you and we get you in the right colors and the right textures, your eyes light up. It was like seeing the window to your soul, Patsy. And I said, well, now what am I supposed to do? She goes, let's do this. Let's go shopping at a consignment store, buy a few tops. And if people don't treat you differently when you wear those, you don't have to do this. You can still do what you did. I said, fine. Well, every time I wear one of those tops, my clients go, hey, Patsy, you look pretty today. Hey, Patsy, you look nice today. And I started going, wow. And then the salon owner came up to me about a week later. And she goes, what are you doing different lately? You look amazing. I still had purple highlights. I said, I changed my tops. Well, I realized there was something to the energetics and harmonics of color that we talk about in the essence color typing system, the elements. And so I thought, okay, fine. So I decided to get trained by her and add that to my business because I had such a reaction. I wanted my clients to know about.
Now you get to do both. You do clothes and hair.
I'm already doing their hair, so why not align the rest of them?
Do a makeover. Just a great makeover. Right.
So I'll tell you one experience that changed my whole understanding about the energetics and harmonics of color, because I think color is magical. You know, there's nothing we make a decision about everything pretty much based on the color. You don't buy a couch, you don't buy a car, you don't buy paint. Everything influences color. So the speaker and coach said to me, Patsy, would you come and help me at this event I'm doing? There's another stylist that I bet, and she's going to be the stylist, but maybe you'd help her take all the women shopping and, you know, help me in the back of the room. I said, yeah, that'd be fun. So I'm trying to find some clothes to wear, and I find a top, an Alfani beautiful top at Macy's on sale that had a V-neck, and it was this light peach color. And then I found a little duster in the color next to it. And so then I got out my guidebook. I thought, okay, what does this mean? So when I wear my flesh tones, they're closer to your natural skin tone and allow others access to your purity in your heart, conveying openness, deep connection, intimacy, trust, comfort, and safety. Well, I thought, I want people to feel comfortable and safe walking up to me and saying, where's the restroom? And I can hand them their book and welcome to the room. Like, that's the energy I wanted to bring. I thought, well, I'm going to test this out. So the morning I'm setting up, the other stylist comes in and she looks at me and she goes, Patsy, you look luscious today. I said, I do? She said, yes. Well, thank you. I wore the same outfit to a networking event 3 weeks later. And somebody came up and said, gee, Patsy, you look radiant tonight. Thank you. Yeah. Neither time had I said anything.
Wow.
I started understanding that, yes, what you wear matters. So in the color typing system, every one of these color strips has a name on the back. And you get to pick the energy you want to bring to the room. For instance, this is eggplant, which is the foundation color. Everybody can wear this color.
Yes, I did go out and buy one.
Good for you. So this is a power color. This is the expert color. So when you're speaking, you want to wear solid and you want to wear something that is that energy, right? But then there's dynamics, which are brighter colors and more vibrant. They're the great thing to wear maybe on Zoom or at a networking event. So people, they're the memorable colors. Or maybe you're doing heart work like you do sometime with women. Right. Maybe you want to wear tranquil because that conveys calm and tranquility.
On this one. Because it's like when I'm working with somebody, it's soothing and it's got a little bit of it's got a pattern to it, but not a lot of pattern.
Yeah.
But it's the softer colors, the pink and grays.
So just empowering people to know what colors to wear, how to build a wardrobe that mixes and matches so you don't have to have a bazillion clothes in your closet. So this is one thing I ask people, and I hopefully your audience will think about this. What percentage, Barbara, of clothes do you think you wear in your closet?
Very few. I tend to wear the same things over and over and over again.
Yeah. So the national average is 20%.
Yeah. Wow.
So think about that 80% you're not wearing, or some of it could be for special occasions.
Right.
And then of course
Christmas and stuff, like
the COVID-19 that everybody's messing with. So you've had to go buy a few things, right? But if you look at all the clothes that you weren't wearing before anyway, we don't know why. And this totally explains why. Because when you're dressing in your authentic color palette and it registers from a soul level, it's who you really are, things change. My business changed. I started getting clients. I doubled my income in 2 years by adding this in and teaching people and showing them how to shop and how to clean their closet. I mean, it's overwhelming. And transformation takes time.
Exactly.
I have a guy that I work with at some of the events, and he runs the back of the room and takes care of the mics and stuff. And I run into him in the airport when I was going to this last speaking events I did this last spring. And he said to me, Patsy, I know every person in the room that you've worked with. I said, you do? She says, yeah, you can tell. I said, Scott, that is fantastic. Would you do a video? So he made me a minute video saying, I am the transformation specialist. So I had it on my website. Really, like that's what he called me.
Right.
Because he saw for his own eyes. And I did his colors palette, and he's a fire like I am. So it was interesting that we had something to talk about that was so, sometimes you wonder about the work you're doing doesn't matter, doesn't make a difference. And I find a lot of women that are trying to build a business, entrepreneurship, coaches, authors, whoever, they don't understand the power of having a wardrobe that represents who they are and be confident. When you go to your closet, you should know exactly what you want, energy you want to bring for the day and what colors you should wear. Takes the guesswork out. When you walk out of your bedroom every day, you should look and feel like a rock star, no matter what you're doing. It could be cleaning the house. It could be going to get groceries. It could be going hanging out with girlfriends. You know what I mean? Right. So I think people don't know that what you wear really matters.
And I think it's just, we are energetic beings. And that's one of the things that I start with my clients. One of the first things I'll ask them is, have you ever done any type of energy work?
Oh,
have you, because if somebody doesn't realize that they are an energetic being, that we have it around us. And I teach them just a simple way by putting their hands together like this and just, you will feel
that energy.
For a couple of seconds, they'll say, oh, I can feel something in, they might not have a description for it, but I feel something in my palms. Oh, I feel tingling in my fingers, or whatever it is they say.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Sometimes you put it on at the store and you think, oh, that looks like a good color. You put it on and you can't stand it. You can't wait to get it off, but you don't know why. You don't know if it's the fabric or the color, whatever. And a lot of people, this I found really interesting because this was me. Okay. So we shop for several different reasons. The first one is we're going to an event. And we feel like we have to, a wedding or speaking, whatever. And you run out to the store. But nowadays, you have in mind what you want, and it's not there, right? Because now a lot of stores are closed. So now you're forced to shop online, know. But the cool thing about that, you can always send it back if it doesn't fit, but it still takes time, right? Or it's on sale. You'll wear it sometime. And I can't even tell you how many closets I've worked with the people that have tags still on them.
Right.
Intentions.
I think I have a dress right now in my closet that still has the tag on it.
Yeah. You have to have something to wear, wear it someplace. But, and the other one is somebody gave it to you and you think you should wear it. Like, out of kindness or something. And the last one, we shop happy, sad, lonely, mad, or bored. We shop out of emotion. We're emotional shoppers, right? Things aren't going so well. We go shopping. We go buy some. Like but when you go shopping with a purpose and you've got your color palette,
that makes it so much easier.
Huh?
It makes it so much easier.
It saves you so much time and money. I have saved people thousands of hours of shopping and time. And I can send, when I work with me, I send them links of the exact item we're looking for because we make a shopping list once we review their closet. And I teach them how to give those clothes away. And something I wanted to share today was I just started a nonprofit it's called Elevating Women in Transition. And I help women that are in transition of their life from whatever they're going through. Sometimes they're in a recovery program or whatever. And I'll read what it says. At Elevating Women in Transition, we believe in the boundless potential of every woman's journey. Our mission is to kindle the flames of hope, empowerment, guiding women through their transition into the workforce with grace and confidence. We envision a world where every woman is embraced, uplifted, and equipped with the tools to reignite their dreams. That's what my nonprofit does. And I do style makeovers for them. They have to be referred by a reliable source or organization, and they have to apply. Yes, I would like to have a makeover, and I will do a head to toe makeover, color type them, teach them how to do the body type, and take them shopping. And now our organization has a wardrobe closet in a storage unit where I've got it in racks and all organized in the elements, and I can take them shopping there first, and they get everything free. So we get them with the outfits that they need, and they get a small stipend that I take them shopping in the town. I teach them how to shop at Ross, how to shop at Macy's, how to go to Penny's. Like, how do you pick up clothes? Because fashion's a look. It's not a size. It's not an age. It's not a name brand. And it is not a price tag. It's who you're being and what you're wearing. Attractive and feeling beautiful as your authentic self. Right? It doesn't matter what size or your age or ethnic background. It doesn't matter any of that. But the fashion industry has put on us that everybody should have a little black dress, and only Earths look good in black.
Yeah.
And that, you got to have the next style. You got to buy the next thing.
The next fad. Yeah.
So I've been empowering a lot of people for the last 7 years to really understand that make it easy for people to connect with you. When you wear your color palette, it's a gift to the world because they can easily energetically lean in and think, oh, I wonder what she does. Right. So I just feel like, and I'm so passionate about helping women that would never afford my services. Right.
Yeah.
So
one of the things I'll have to do, Barb has a show. I'm gonna volunteer Barb. I'm
already signed up to do that show.
Perfect. That is awesome. Yeah, because nonprofits, and then I was just in a class this past week of that one of the men that there is so many things out there for nonprofits. And so I'm going to connect with, I want to have him on the show too and introduce him to Barb. Because that's one of the things that he does. And any business can have a nonprofit arm of their business. And that's one of the things we've talked about, being our authentic selves. That's what's happening now so much with companies. They want to be authentically giving, sharing, doing what they do, but also making an impact.
It's my dream to have Macy's and Talbot's and Ann Taylor, they're gently used, they're nice clothes that, maybe is running the season. Many of things are classic for people. They can wear them for years, right? And so I would love to have them sponsor me, or them, I would just love to be able to have their wardrobe. So our dream is this year, right now, we're doing everything out of the storage unit. And next year, I hope to put in a gently used and new clothing store, and in the back, have a place to do the style makeovers. So all the working women in town can come and find nice, gently used things, or even new. And I know it's going to come eventually. I know it's going to happen. And so I think
that's your vision. And once a vision is in our psyche, it's just a matter of time before it manifests.
Yeah. So I'm 72. I know you're 73.
I'm
but
73.
I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. I'm determined to leave a legacy, to do something different. There's a lot of wonderful nonprofits that will give people, new clothes, but they don't address the whole woman. They don't help her be confident and empower her to knowledge of what should she wear? How does she dress her body? Most women are overweight. And of course, we're already subconscious up front, right? And especially in recovery programs, they give up one drug or alcohol and then they go to food. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? You got to find something until you have new tools to deal with those issues. And that's what I found in my 12-step recovery group. I don't have to go to food when something gets upset. I can call somebody, or I can write about it, or I can do something else.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because overwhelm is so prevalent. As one of the things that I work with is business burnout, loss, and hand in hand with business burnout is loss of identity. And that's where somebody like you comes in, because so many people, it's like, well, who am I now? Because one of the things, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and it was like, we were talking about, like, so many people climb the corporate ladder and then get to the top and realize that they've leaned the ladder against the wrong building, and they get to the top and they don't like what they do. They feel unfulfilled. Their health is falling apart because they're under so much stress. They're on medication up the yin yang.
Yeah.
And why am I falling apart? Well, because you're not being your authentic self.
Yeah. And that's what I found too. Like, there's a lot of people I could really work with. I'd love to work with divorced women that are ready to go out and date. That's a hard emotional thing to go through, and you have to go through it. Or maybe you've lost a loved one. I have a great lady that one of my really close friends she's buddies with her. She lost her. They had bought a villa in Italy, and they were getting ready. They bought the furniture. They were getting ready to go over there, and he dies.
Right.
And she loved him so much. And so she started grieving, and then she went to these grief groups and stuff. And these people were there for years, 6, 8, 10. Yes. Like,
she's still grieving
through her grief.
I wanted to work.
Right. She's now writing a book, but she was selling her house. And so she asked my friend to go down and help her, get things ready and stuff. And she told her about my nonprofit, and she gave me like 4 bags of beautiful clothes. She used to work for Kaiser as an executive coach or something.
Yeah.
So she has really nice things, and they're bigger sizes. They're 16, 18. That's not an easy size to find always, So I'm excited because I just put everything away. So I'm looking for, gently used, nice clothing from people. So I'm just now beginning to do stuff here locally, taking it to the chamber, So I just got my brochures printed. So now I have something to hand out to people so they understand the work, because the work I do is different. It's not the seasonal thing. It's more about, who are you? What are your gifts? Because usually your element aligns with what you do naturally anyway. Right. So I just feel like I'm passionate about making a difference in people's lives, wherever they're at, because I can promise you, when you work with me, you will feel more beautiful. You will do the best you can, and you will start accepting yourself as you are. If you want to make changes, great, but that's not what you have to do to really have a refresh, have a style refresh, where are you doing? What's the next phase of your life? What are you doing in the next 3 to 6 months? I believe everybody should have 3 outfits in their closet, 2 for, nice dresses for speaking or doing whatever, and an outfit that you rock, that you feel fabulous.
And no matter where you're going.
And no matter where you go, you can always wear that. So those outfits are out there, but it takes time to find them. Right. So,
and like, I have to admit, when I was in corporate America, and my sister was like you. She could pick out clothes for me. We would go shopping. I would sit and read or do stuff. She would pick out clothes for me. And there were times where she would be like, "Oh, Barb, you try this on." And I'm like, "I would never wear that, Barb. Go try it on."
Yep.
Because sometimes you think you have a mental vision of yourself, and then once in a while you need somebody to shake you up a little bit.
Well, and that's my genius, is shopping for people. I can see something on you because I'm a fire, and I take you shopping. We go to the sell rack, we grab stuff, and I put you in a room, and I run around the store and keep bringing things that are your size, your colors. And let's see, is this a good style for you? Nope, doesn't look good. How about this? That's fabulous. That would be a really good investment, because your wardrobe is an investment in you.
Yes. Right. It's like taking a class. It's like when somebody works with me, let's do some exercises. Let's do the work, because you have to find out, number one, emotionally, who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Like, one of the questions I ask my clients is, who are you within what you do?
Yeah.
And it just amazes me how many people don't know. And like for you, they don't know what their colors are. They don't know what their style is. They don't know because they've never been exposed to it.
Well, and everybody is their own unique person. And that's
Exactly.
why I really love working individually or in small groups. It's really fun in small groups. And I have these girls getaway shopping weekends where we only buy like 10s. Like they have to be really awesome to go into your wardrobe. But you have to shop lots of places, buy lots certain jewelry and certain this and like that all takes time. But when you get together with other women that lift you up and appreciate who you are, just as you are, it is probably the funnest thing I've ever done is to take women through that process. And when you go to my events, you get, your personalized eye color strip. You get other things that add into it. And the next one I have coming up, you bring your leather shoes and we're going to dye them in your color palette. Like you can, I believe in recycling good things. And if they fit you, and they're black, let's paint them navy, or let's paint them brown, or let's do burgundy, like whatever color you need in your palette. Don't get rid of them.
And lots of times when you buy, like I have some really good quality things that I have been wearing literally for years because they last.
Yep. Well, and they're basic, but we're so programmed by corporate, you have to wear the men's uniform, the black or the navy.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you're invisible. It's like a floating head. Like you have to fit in, and they say every woman should have a little black dress. Why would you want to look like everybody else?
Exactly.
And there's only one person that really looks good and one type that looks really good in black because of the dense energy. It is a strong color. And you have to have the stature and the personality and the character trait to pull it off. And look amazing, right?
And look good in it, right? I know a friend of mine right now, she's going to a wedding. The bride is wearing black. I'm like,
well, people want to stand out. They want to stand out. That just tells you they don't know who they are. I want people to know who they are. The one thing that people don't realize is who they want to be attracted to.
Right.
It's the unspoken law of attraction. I talk about that when I do a presentation. The first thing people want to do, if they don't connect with you in the first 3 to 5 seconds, and it's according to what you're wearing, that's what Harvard Business School says, you're going to have a much harder time getting them to find out who you are and talk to you. And you may have just lost that new client, that new connection of somebody you really need to know.
Right. And so right now, I mean, we're putting across the bottom of the board. I would just encourage you to reach out to Patsy. She does consultations up the yin yang, and they are fabulous. So anyways, Patsy, any last words?
Well, if you're interested in what I have to say, I would encourage you to go to embracingyouressence.com and click on Let's Connect, and it'll take you through a little thing and have you fill out some stuff. And, let's have a conversation about how maybe I can serve you and what a difference it can make. If you're ready to be seen and heard in a bigger way, I can help that. I can help you do that.
Oh, thanks, Patsy. One of the things that, Barb and I, we talk about all the time is like, we're on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah.
And because both of us truly believe that each and every one of us deserves to lead a happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant life. Well, feeling good about yourself is part of that feeling happy and thrive and being abundant. So, and clothing is such an important thing. So
yes, we don't think about it, so here's your image. Yeah. Here's your color typing. It's the heart of your business. Who you're being and what you're wearing. Right?
Exactly. So Patsy, this was amazing. We'll have to have you on again. And I am so happy to hear that you're on Barb's nonprofit show. That's going to be amazing because there are a lot of women out there that need help.
Yes. And other people can join me. They can donate help me be able to take a woman shopping locally. Help me keep my nonprofit growing, so next year I can put in a store, because I'm not going to do it until we have the funds. I actually have just took I'm in the middle of taking a grant mastery writing course.
Okay.
So I can learn how to write grants that really grab people, so I can help expedite finding the right grants. So yeah.
I'll put you in touch with Ken. I just talked to him, so I'll put you in touch with him. So
yeah.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for coming on the Patsy. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been fabulous, as always. And so everyone, have a great week, and remember, this is your time to shine. And make your happiness the norm rather than the exception. So have a great week. Barb's going to be